Who attacked America on September the 11th? We used a method. We said, since we do not have the evidence which can be used in a court of law, let us look to see who has benefited. And when we use that method of analysis, we have come to the conclusion that the only beneficiary of the September 11th attack on America has been far and away the State of Israel. We said that those who attacked America, therefore, must have at their core the Israeli Mossad. And they must have benefit and help from many others within the United States, within the administration, even from within the White House. When we look at their strategy, we see that they put on board the aircraft a large number of Saudis. Sounds suspicious. Why so many Saudis? And these are not Saudis who are well known for their Islamic fervor, for being what they call militants. No, these are middle of the road, normal Saudis who drive BMWs. Huh? People who attended American universities, for example. They were on board the aircraft and they died when the aircraft crashed. So these were the hijackers, except that one of them read in the newspapers that he was dead. So he went to the Saudi government and he said to the Saudi government, "It seems to me as though I'm alive." The Saudi newspapers published this article, which I read with my own eyes. This particular student had studied in Minnesota, I think, in the early 1990s. And in 1995, perhaps, he had reported both to the local police and to the Saudi embassy in the United States that someone had broken into his apartment and stolen his passport. Whoever did that used that passport to hijack his identity, and so they could put him on board the aircraft. And so the planning for September the 11th, 2001 started many, many years before. Why so many Saudis? It's suspicious. And why these middle-of-the-road Saudis? The answer is because Saudi Arabia, the government of Saudi Arabia, has a friendly relationship with the United States. In fact, there is something common between the state of Saudi Arabia and the state of Israel, which would surprise you. They are sisters. The same forces who work for the establishment of the state of Israel are the same forces who work for the establishment of the state of Saudi Arabia. The same forces who have kept Israel alive today and guaranteed Israel's security are the same forces who have kept Saudi Arabia alive today and has guaranteed Saudi Arabia's security. And when the state of Israel is to be destroyed, Saudi Arabia also goes down into the garbage bin.
Let's move on now. Concerns are growing among Muslims as Saudi authorities plan to destroy the birthplace of Prophet Muhammad in the holy city of Mecca. Reports say that under the plan, the historic site will be destroyed and replaced with a royal palace for King Abdullah for his visits to Mecca. The work is part of a multi-billion-dollar construction project in the holy city, which has already resulted in the destruction of hundreds of historic monuments. Saudi officials claim that the plan aims to expand Al-Masjid Al-Haram, or the Grand Mosque, to host more pilgrims. Riyadh is under fire for mass destruction of historic buildings in Mecca. Some reports say up to 95% of Mecca's millennium-old buildings have been destroyed to be replaced with luxury hotels and shopping malls.
The Saudi regime that professes to be a Muslim regime, that professes to follow Islam, is really doing all of these. I mean, if you look at Mecca, I remember Mecca maybe 20 years ago, and you look at it now, it's a world apart. They have turned Islam into a business, into something where they trade, and this actually is it has a taste of what Islam was like prior to Islam being revealed to Prophet Muhammad in the days that we call Ayyam Jahiliyyah, or the times of ignorance, where all the time people used to come to a place, they used to buy and sell God. And the Saudi regime, which contrary to popular opinion is not a Muslim entity, it has no connection to Islam, even though it professes Islam, it has no connection to Islam. Its actions speak loudly, much louder than its words and the many Qur'ans that it prints and all of this. It has no connection to Islam. This entity wants to turn Mecca and turn Masjid al-Haram, Masjid Nabawi. And Masjid Nabawi, of course, is another thing. They want to demolish that. This is something known, but when there was an uproar by the Muslims, they backed down and they started saying, oh, no, we didn't mean to do this. We didn't want to do this. This wasn't our plan. This is just some extremists who are saying this. And we should understand that all Muslims, Sunni, Shia, all Muslims are against this cancerous entity of what we could call Arab Zionism, which is referred to as the Saudi regime.
Shabir, if I could just come in here, I do apologize. We just have a minute left. So I wanted to ask, the Wahhabis say that sites such as the one that they're going to destroy have no place in Islam. And we've seen that play out in many places around the world. We're seeing that play out now in Iraq and Syria as well, even with other religions, religious sacred places as well, by these extremists. So is there any basis for that? Because you're an Islamic scholar, so I'm asking you that in that sense. Is there any basis for that in Islam, in fact?
No, not at all. Islamically, no one worships buildings. This is well known, and anyone who does, of course, this is insane. This is not the way. This is an extreme cult that is outside Islam, that professes Islam, much like ISIS, who is really the child of Saudi and Qatar. These people, they want to break anything that has any connection to culture, anything that has a connection to God, to spirituality, to culture, to history. Because, of course, history reminds them of what they have done. And history teaches people that all of these oppressors, all of these tyrants will have an end. And of course, Mr. Saud of Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all of these people and the Bahraini person, they're all in the same pot. They're all the same thing, along with Netanyahu. There is no difference. People should understand that Netanyahu, the Zionist cancer, and the Saudi cancer are one and the same. There is no difference between these two. And that the Muslims, Sunni, Shia, all Muslims should come together against this cancer. Because this cancer is killing our people in Palestine, it's killing our people in Syria, in Iraq, in Saudi. Everywhere in the world, this cancer is killing. And at the head of this cancer is who? Everyone knows. We don't need to say over here who.